Hi, everyone, and welcome to EDUC 464-564, your student teaching seminar for spring of 2026. My name is Anne Marie, and I am going to be your instructor for this course. And I'm so excited to get to work with each and every one of you this semester. Some of you who I've had before, and some of you who I will be meeting for the first time. So, part of the reason why I decided to film this video is because we don't have class this week due to the holiday, and I wanted to give you an introduction to the course, a brief syllabus overview, and I also wanted to introduce myself to you before we meet in person for the first time next week. So, I'm going to try to keep this video pretty short, but yeah, I just felt like filming it as almost a get to know you, sort of what I would have done if we had been together in person. So, I guess I'll talk a little bit about who I am and what I do so that you have some semblance of who I'm as a person and as a teacher. So, as I mentioned, I'm Anne Marie, Dr. Anne Marie Garcia Shahan, but please call me Anne Marie. Yeah, doctor is just way too formal for me, and my last name is just way too long. So, call me Anne Marie. I am the assistant professor of secondary literacy, and I am split between TELP and LLSS. So I do work in both departments. This semester I'm primarily in TELP, and the next semester I'll primarily be teaching in LLSS, doing some grad classes there. So I have several research and scholarship focus areas. I do a lot of work in critical and embodied literacy practices and what those look like in classroom spaces, particularly English language arts spaces. A lot of my work surrounds and focuses the history of English education in the United States, critical canon studies, young adult literature, and practitioner and teacher research. So if you are interested in any of those areas, you can always pick my brain about them. I have extensive teaching experience at both the high school and college level. I started my student teaching at Highland High School here in Albuquerque, and that is where I ended up doing the initial portion of my teaching career. So I taught English there, I taught history there, media literacy. I also coached cheer and dance there for quite some time. When I finished my PhD, I was an assistant professor of English and young adult literature at Western Washington University for quite some time. And that was a great experience, but I missed New Mexico. So I came back and then I taught at Rio Grande High School here in the South Valley for 4 years. And I just finished up my teaching career there this past spring. So Rio is very fresh to me. It's very much in my heart, and still have a lot of teacher friends that are there. So I also do a lot of work in the arts community outside of UNM. I'm the founder and artistic director of Breaking Even, which is a dance troupe here in Albuquerque. We put on a lot of retellings and counter narratives of dominant literature through dance. Super cool. I'm also a dance and yoga instructor at Alley Cat's Tap Studio, and I am a seasonal choreographer for New Mexico Gay Men's Course, as well as for Musical Theater Southwest and Albuquerque Little Theater. So I think you can probably tell I love to dance, I love to teach, and I love to research and write. So, I know you'll get to know me better throughout the course of the semester. I'm very much an open book. If you have questions about any of the hobbies that I dabble in, let me know. If you have questions about teaching, I'm always here. So let's talk a little bit about the purpose of this seminar. I want to start by saying that I run this seminar very differently than other classes that I teach in TELP and in LLSS. This course is non-traditional in many ways, in the sense that it's not so much about gaining content knowledge as it is about the course and me supporting your practical teaching experience and giving you the tools that you need to be successful, not only in student teaching, but in your future teaching career. So I give a lot less traditional work in this class. I don't really assign heavy reading and annotation. We may have short readings from week to week, kind of surrounding some of the secondary issues that we talk about in relationship to your teaching experience. Also, the bulk of the work this semester will be focused on your portfolio and on creating professional development plans and e-portfolio, job search material. So it's a very practical course and less sort of theoretical. And so I think that might be, for me, it's really exciting. I always enjoy a seminar because I feel like it's less about me, just imparting content to you and more about us creating a collaborative space to learn and support one another. And that brings me to the purpose of this seminar, right? Which is to build a community of support as you navigate your final semester of student teaching, as you navigate licensure and portfolio work, as you navigate the job search, etc. I am here first and foremost to answer questions for you, to support you, to help you, and to build that community that's going to be so essential to our class being successful. This seminar is also to help you navigate both the struggles and the triumphs of student teaching. My student teaching experience is still relatively fresh in my mind, and it's a difficult year, but it's also a really exciting year. And I think having a space to share those triumphs with each other and to share those struggles is really, really, really essential. This is also a space where we're going to explore current issues within secondary education and issues that you've come up against in your own teaching experience. And finally, my hope is that this seminar will allow you to strengthen and build some lifelong connections with other teachers. These collaborations will extend throughout your teaching career. Teaching, if you let it, can be a very lonely field, and it's just so important to build a network of support, not only at the school that you end up teaching in, but with other teachers and other schools, with professors, build that sort of family, that network that you'll need to be successful. And I hope that the building of that can start in this seminar. So I'm going to move to a very brief syllabus overview, and I want to talk about a few things before I jump into that. I want to make sure that you are aware that in my class, the syllabus is always a living organic document. So it will and can change based on our needs as a class. I always organize a syllabus and I organize an agenda before the semester starts, but things always come up, particularly in a class that is so rooted in student teaching. We will decide kind of what we need together. So just be aware that that syllabus will probably change at various points throughout the semester. Another thing that I have done this semester is I've changed the structure of the class to try to best accommodate your busy schedules as student teachers. So our class is scheduled from 4:30 to 6 every Monday, and that will be the case throughout the whole semester. However, every other week our class will be virtual via Zoom. I did this in part because I know how busy you all are student teaching. I know that parking and getting to campus can be a hassle. So I want you to feel a little breath of relief. Every other week you'll be able to Zoom. You'll Zoom into class from either your student teaching site, from your house, wherever you need to be. Also, I am not going to read over every single section of the syllabus in this video. Please make sure that you are reading it closely on your own before we meet for the first time next week. The other note I want to make, there are several professors teaching this seminar this semester. Our major assignments are aligned with your portfolio requirements, but please keep in mind that our classes are our own. I am very big on teacher autonomy, so you might notice some differences if you have friends in other seminars from our seminar. I will only ask that this seminar is a seminar that has a lot of rigid requirements for us as professors, but we all try to exercise our own autonomy even within those requirements. So just be aware that, for example, my class might look different from Jeff's or might look different from Drew's, and just keep that in mind. And then come to next week's first in-person class with any syllabus questions. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up our syllabus. Like I said, I'm not going to go over everything, but you'll see my contact information here. Office hours, Mondays 3 to 4. When we are on campus or in person for class, those will be in my office hours. If we are on Zoom, those will be on Zoom. And then, of course, by appointment as needed. So here is the meeting time and location. As I mentioned, Mondays 4:30 to 6. When we meet in person, we'll be meeting in Tech 230. And then I've done this little schedule for you here with a little code. So NC means no class, IP means in person, and Z means Zoom. So you can see when we have in-person meetings, when we have Zoom meetings, and when we have no class. Okay? So I'm going to let you read over the course description, the course goals, and the student learning objectives on your own. I want to draw your attention to required texts and materials. There are no required purchases that you need to make in terms of text for this class. Any readings that we do will be given to you by me. I will provide those on Canvas. This includes the student teaching handbook. General course requirements. Attendance is key. Whether we're meeting in person or whether we're meeting virtually, I expect you to be there on time and remain until finished, unless you and I have talked about this in advance. Assignments. Please complete assignments on time, especially because so much of the work this semester is tied to your licensure portfolio requirements and to your own professional development. So I will not accept any assignments past a week. There will be points deducted for late assignments. If, however, you have an emergency or something comes up, please communicate with me. We will figure out a plan, okay? Also, I will include descriptions and criteria for assignments the closer we get to them. And then, of course, this is obvious, but please, please, please be respectful to your peers, to me, whether we're in person or on Zoom. So here's a breakdown of our assignments for the semester. I don't expect these will change or shift very much, but as always, I will be flexible. Please be flexible as well. Check them out. Here I have a brief description of the assignments themselves. And of course, like I said, I will give you more in-depth breakdowns of these assignments as we get closer to them. I'm going to let you read through UNM resources and policies. I want to bring your attention to the credit hour statement, though. I sent out an email last week reminding you that if you have not signed up for 3 credits for this course, to please go in and change that. Okay. Let's see. Real quick, 3 or more unexcused absences will result in removal and drop from the course. This is up here in the attendance policy as well. We'll let you read through the rest of this, and I'm going to get to our tentative course agenda. So this is what might change kind of based on your needs, based on our identified needs as a class together. But I like to get this out at the beginning of the semester just so that we're feeling structured and prepared. So you'll notice that on the week I have, whether we're in person or Zoom, I have our topics and I have assignments and I have anything that's due listed here as well. You'll notice that I don't have specific readings listed here, and that's because all of our field issues that we're going to talk about this semester are going to be chosen by you. I've sent out a survey for you to do this week. Once I identify the issues that are most important to you, I will pick out short readings based on those issues, and I will upload them to Canvas, okay? So you can look through that course agenda. And then here at the bottom are just some other resources for you that the majority of you are probably already really familiar with. Elevate New Mexico Level 1 Teacher Evaluation. There's a link here for the competencies. In-task teaching standards, learning progressions are here as well. Our college's vision and mission. And then finally, I've included this on Canvas as well, the portfolio scoring rubric. So real quick before I end this video, I'm going to take us to our Canvas page. This is the home page, and I want to point out that the syllabus is listed under syllabus here. You can download it. And then I'm going to pull our attention to our modules. So you'll notice that I have a resource module here that I'll add to throughout the semester. Right now it has your student teaching handbook, your portfolio expectations, and the scoring rubric for your portfolio. Each week I will add to our course module. This week it's going to be a little bit more detailed just because we don't have class together. So I'm going to go ahead and open up that welcome. Our topics will be listed here with our objectives. This video will be listed here as well. So really quick, your assigned reading for this week is just to review, refamiliarize yourself with or refresh your knowledge of the student teaching handbook, portfolio expectations, and the scoring rubric. And these, of course, are under our resources module. You have two assignments this week. They're both very short, and I am making them due by this Friday at midnight. One is an introduction activity, it's a discussion post, and the other is a survey that I'm going to ask you to do that will have you identify issues that you have noticed are important or have come up in your student teaching experience. And then our first in-person meeting will take place Monday, January 26th from 4:30 to 6 in Tech 230. So I'm going to end there. I am so excited to work with you all this semester, as I said. If you have any questions before we meet together next Monday, please feel free to reach out, email me. I generally try to get back to emails within 24 hours, unless it's the weekend, then it might take me a little bit longer. So, yes, looking forward to meeting you all, and I hope you have a great first week of the semester.